I've heard, family members say, for example, you probably shouldn't get any more tattoos because one day you might want a real job. Yeah.
Hi, Annabelle. Welcome.
Hi, Nia. Thanks for having me.
It is my pleasure. So, Annabelle, I just want to say that I love scrolling through your Instagram. The nail designs and the fact that they're hand drawn, amazing, Annabelle.
Thanks.
So, before I go into your nail designs and the fact that you produced the first nail polish brand in Jamaica, and even before I get into Bella's Boutique, I want to talk more about who is Bella before the boutique.
Grew up as the youngest of three girls, and typical like typical I don't know how that's, but basically did everything from like ballet, swimming, extracurricular activities. My dad was a really hands-on dad, and my mom as well. She separated from teaching to, raise us, and she was very, we grew up in a very disciplined home in terms of sticking to our extracurricular activities, school. So it was like everything that we did, day to day, from going to school to extracurricular activities and coming home when it was dark in time to do homework and probably like watch an hour of TV before bed if we finished our homework on time. There was a pretty, structured household, and, it taught us, it was just full of love and, discipline and structure, which really helped to, shape me to who I am today. And so I'm really appreciative of, just the love and, everything that my parents poured into me.
Mm-hmm.
And then in high school, that's when my, independent rebel side came out, where I just explored who I was exactly the way I wanted to. So I've always been the type to just live exactly how I want to, never been afraid to try new things or just be myself, which is great. Like I have no regrets. I've gotten into so much trouble and given my father high blood pressure because of it. I'm sorry that. But needless to say, I lived exactly how I wanted to live and was able to find my path because of it, because of all of the errors that I've made and learned from it. I went to Campion, and then I moved on to UE. And in my first year at UE, I got pregnant, and I was doing my mom's nails. Like at the time, I was always into nails, and so I would just polish her nails for her, and I was just always very neat and clean. That was one thing. It wouldn't take me like hours and have clean up and everything. It was just like a bam bam, done. And so when I got pregnant, she actually suggested that I take that course and get certified and just make some money on the side, to support my child until I finish my degree. And of course, I trust my mom very much, so just went right ahead and did it. And I started like with 1 and 2 customers. I didn't even need an appointment book at the time. I just used to always have it in my head. I was like, all right, Thursday at 3, I have so and so, and then Monday at 2. It was just like I was so happy for like those 1 and 2 appointments that I never need no book. It was there, and yeah, they just go and do that on the side until I finished my degree, and then I tried out corporate. I tried, I did business, economics, and social statistics, which is mainly statistics. And then, so I got a job in that field. And first day, I was like sick like a dog. And I was like, okay, but I have to go though. It's one of those sicks where you should not go. Like,
you were
do not.
nervous.
Yeah, right.
Nervous.
But I pushed myself because I was like, you can't, they're not going to believe you say, you're sick on your first day. You're going to be like this girl, So pushed myself, I went, and it still didn't work out. Like, I got fired in the first week of being there.
Why?
And, well, but that's it. One of the reasons was, apparently somebody told one of the bosses that I was sleeping at my desk, which was not true. Okay, I was reading this paperwork that they gave me, and because I was so sick, I had my hand on my head like this, reading. So, it tends to be corporate, like the new girl, and then like probably somebody else is there and they feel threatened. You know how the corporate world is, right? Not for me, because, I'm not the one. So anyways, that as well as like I had on these pants, which is another reason I kind of corporate. You can't I thought my pants were like popping, they weren't even too tight. And they were like right below the knee. But my mom told me, she was just like, those are not appropriate. And I was like, you are wrong. Like there's no way this is not appropriate for work. Like I wouldn't wear this on a normal basis. And sure enough, they were like, yeah, that sounds appropriate workwear. So I was like,
not for me.
So they called me in for a meeting and they brought up those things and they said, well, you tell us why you should do this job. And I was just like, maybe I shouldn't. Like, if you don't see why I should be here, then I'm not gonna beg something for this. I don't feel it didn't feel like, like in my spirit, it just didn't feel like somewhere I was supposed to be. Like this wasn't my purpose. This wasn't my calling. So I left the job, or they fired me, whichever. And that was one of I remember the time, it was just months and months of me just being still, and listening to God and seeing where, I was being led. But I had known inside, I'm like, you have a business. Like it's like God was saying to me, you have a business. Like this is where you're supposed to be. Use this. This is the talent I gave. So I was like, okay, I started doing some research, did the whole 9, got a logo, got some business cards, started to see where I could be marketable, like what was going to make me stand out.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, I'm going to do house calls because, people like convenience.
Question.
And what's that?
I said question. When you were in corporate, had you stopped doing nails once you left university, or were you doing it on the side while still in corporate?
I was still on the side.
Okay.
Not it was never a lot though. It was not, you know, as I said, it was just like 1 and 2 people a week.
Right.
Just enough to, get practice and just, get a little food money.
Yeah.
So then there were some expos.
Mhm.
Like the like markets at the lawn and some other ones that grew up in our galleries, and so I would do those expos and just meet people face to face, show them give them my business cards. I would leave my business cards. I made pamphlets. And I would offer like some specialty pedicures, like using these different essential oils and just like milk and rose petals and the just come different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I built up my clientele, just through doing those expos and word of mouth and references and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Until I just kept building and building. A few years later, I eventually set up at a location. And, I did lose a few customers because, of course, people do love the convenience. But then I started to build back up, so it was a transition for me. But it was supposed to be temporary because I was pregnant at the time and it was hard for me to keep up and down. And I actually really loved being on the road. There was like a freedom in that, I would make my appointments, a few in Manor Park, and then I'd move to like this, I would schedule them in a certain way, and then I would stop and have lunch. I felt like I was living like a real like boss woman life,
Yeah. Busy.
And then booked and busy, right? It was nice, I'd stop like I would stop and have sushi by myself, like girl, it was good. But then the challenge came with that, with like, having to lug around like a big thing, and the nail polishes are heavy, and there's only a certain amount that you can carry. I didn't have my own polish line at the time. But you still want a variety for your customers. So, and then, packing that up, and then, being in different people's homes, like you're not sure what to expect. Everybody has, kind of a different, ambiance. So there are pros and cons of that, but I definitely enjoyed it. I love being at a location now, as I said, because I'm able to, have like a wider variety of nail polishes and stuff like that, and I don't pack up every time. So, there are pros and cons, but I've been here for about maybe 7 years now, at a location, and I'm loving it. I would say about 2016, one of my customers said to me, she's like, Bella, you are so good at choosing colors for people. They call me the color whisperer, if you have not heard. And the color whisperer.
Like that.
Right. So she said, you could try making your own polish. It's probably not as hard as you think. And she makes her own hair products. So that kind of gave me, more confidence. And, I also believe when people give out, like a positive, an idea, it's like God is speaking to you. So, you kind of have to just go out in faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, my cousin had told me that many years ago, before I started, and I just was not in the headspace at the time, so it's like she had planted the seed, but I didn't have the confidence at that point. So, it was like once again, God was like, hey, are you ready now? Like, let's do this. What are you waiting on? So yeah, I just went for it, and once again I did a lot of research, months and months of research, and I finally found the formula, tested it out, and then I started on my customers, and it was a hit. Actually, the very first time I used it, it was not good, but it wasn't because of the polish. It was because my customer, she does it on her natural nails, and then she went home immediately and started to work with them. So it's like sometimes these things happen to discourage you, but you have to just keep pressing forward. And I tested it on so many people after that, and the reviews are great. And then, after that, me and her had a conversation about, okay, what was different with you? Why you think it didn't last? Do you think it's the product, or was it something you did? And then that's when we discovered she went home immediately and started to work throughout the night, because she does handcrafts as well. So, for me, that was a lesson, like, not to be discouraged immediately, because I could have been like, okay, it's a bust, but it's all in the testing, and it's good to know your product, what it can withstand, what it can't. So yeah, I basically, when I started doing the polishes, I didn't really think of where it could go. I just thought of how I wanted it to be. I immediately was like, okay, I have an opportunity to make it anything I want it to be. And I am a pro Jamaican, right? So I was like, they're not gonna have Jamaican name. Because the polished names are to people just as important as the colors. People will choose the colors of, like, choose a polish based on the name
because of the name
over the color, right?
And if it's one thing, anybody who buys a nail polish or who even knows about it knows that it's the name. The names are so unique and truly Jamaican. I mean, white is cake soup. That's that's so cool.
It's actually one of my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah, it took me a while. I was like, white, like, I have to give white like a good name. I have to come good. And I was just thinking about it when I yes. So yeah, I immediately was like, this has to represent Jamaica. Like, we're such a rich culture, and we don't have that. We have, like, there's so many nail polishes that we use, and they have, like, cute names, but it's not like ours. So I was really excited about that. So I just put all of my passion into making it truly Jamaican, and that's all I do. And then it kind of just takes on a life of its own,
What has business life been like for you as a Jamaican, doing business in Jamaica? What is that like for you?
Well, being an entrepreneur in Jamaica, I think, is a little more challenging than say the US, because we have to import a lot of our raw materials, and the import fees are ridiculous. So that's the most challenging part, as well as, like, registering the business, getting things like business account, the POS, the card machine. You have to, like, jump through hoops and give a kidney and probably your firstborn child to get a card machine. So those things are a little harder, I would say, but it's still manageable. And we, you do have you have people who really, are pro-Jamaicans, and they would prefer to spend that extra money to support Jamaican products, just for support. What I've done with mine is I've priced my products on the same price point as the polishes that they're comparable to. So for example, ST, Couture, and OPI. I make sure that their price point on par, if not just a little below, because I know it's going to be, at first, some people are gonna see it and be like, this can't go because it's Jamaican. You know what I mean? That's just a stigma attached to products initially before you try it, or if you're told by somebody else who has tried it.
Right.
You know, we just tend to think like, this come from Jamaica, this can't go, you know?
Like why her own must be more expensive than an Etsy or something, but a lot of people don't understand that it costs more for Jamaicans to put together their products, especially when they have to bring in materials from different locations abroad, because they get charged extra. You get charged twice the amount that you originally spent. And so
Exactly.
people need to really come out and support Jamaican brands and and understand the struggle.
Exactly. So I've actually, I'm cutting down on my profits just so that it can be more affordable to people, even though I know the value of my product. So once people, more and more people get to use it and they love it, they will be willing to pay more money for it, But I think right now it's a good price point to just have it on the same level as those, polishes that's on the same level.
Yeah. Now I know that you are partnered with Woman Inc. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's that? What does that partnership entail?
The Woman Inc. organization had reached out to me to help raise awareness for the organization. And for people that don't know, it's the only organization in Jamaica that provides shelter for women who are being abused and they don't have anywhere to go. So it being the only organization, and they need awareness, not only for funding, but for women to know that they have somewhere to go, so that they don't have to be trapped. They don't have to stay in their situation. So, I wanted to make sure that I was really able to help them to get a voice. And, my platform is, it's good, but I wanted to give them a bigger platform. So I reached out to, some women, in my circle who had like a huge platform, and asked them if they would be willing to, lend their voice or lend their platform to helping raise awareness for the Women Inc. organization. And they were very willing. So, that says a lot. And, I'm grateful for them. So how I did it was I gave them each a nail polish color. I showed them the palette and I asked them, which one do you identify with? So they each chose one. For example, Camila McDonald, she is a pink girl, always in pink. So I knew she was going to choose a pink, right? Shensia at the time, she was always wearing teal. So I knew she was going to choose that. And Yendi, she was drawn to, it was like a fuchsia color. And so, they chose their colors and they named them. And then, I just did like a campaign with them speaking about, what it means to be a woman and really like encouraging women to just be strong and confident. And, at the end of it, just, giving a word to some women who would be in, a situation that they feel trapped in, or they just need a little strength or hope to get, to get out of or get through. And on each of the bottles, at the back, I put the Woman Inc. organization hotline number, their email address, and each bottle has like, a word of affirmation on it. So if it's always like, it raises awareness through the actual bottles themselves, and then through the campaign of like the woman having the the nail polish color.
That's a great initiative, Bella. It's really great. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was I'm really happy to be able to, be a part of that.
Mm. So moving forward, I know that you have been doing nails and you created a nail polish brand, but then Corona. And I know that the nail industry was hit pretty hard. So how were you able to cope or pivot? That's the popular word of 2020.
Yeah.
How are you able to pivot with your business?
With the new normal, Tanya, another new term. Well, yeah, initially, it was like a ghost town here. I don't know about anybody else, but Bella's Beauty was a ghost town, right? And I mean, I've always had like so many things on my to-do list. I wanted to start focusing on my YouTube channel, just making some like videos of nail designs or tutorials. And, I wanted to focus more on certain creative content on my Instagram page and, just a few other things. And so I just really used that time to work on those things. And, it was a blessing. Since then, I have not been able to maintain my YouTube channel. So I need to work on that. But, there's always things that you can do to grow or to keep yourself current in that time and add value to your business. So it's like just making a list of those things and then trying to carve out some time, or when you get the time, actually just do it.
I'm sure you're going to continue to work on your YouTube, as I know it will expand your audience as well. So Bella, I know that you are a mother of 3. How do you balance all of this while being a mommy?
I don't.
And that's perfectly fine.
I try my best. I'm constantly learning and evolving, so it's really hard, like, with the kids and schoolwork and, all of these things. But every day is a day I get up and I'm, okay, how can I do better? What can I implement? So, I just make sure that I don't finish work too late now, because I used to work until like 11 p.m. every night. And then, the kids would have to basically just, either like if the helper is here, she would be taking care of them. I wouldn't spend any time with them. She would do everything, cook, clean,
Right.
and a part of the reason why, I didn't mention this before, but I was actually going to flight school when I was at UA. That's what I really wanted to do. But when I got pregnant, it kind of made me change my perspective. Like, I don't really want to be away from my kids, So I just never finished, I said, all right, I'm not gonna do that anymore. The whole reason for me not pursuing that was that so that I would have time to spend with my family. And I realized, being an entrepreneur, you actually work more hours than if you were in a 9 to 5.
Way more.
Yeah. So, I realized as an entrepreneur, there's so much more that you have to learn, not just having a business. You have to reach to the point. Entrepreneur is a starting point. You have to get to the point of a business owner where you're able to make money while you're not working, creating passive income. So that's currently what I'm working on, but at the same time, trying to balance, just trusting the process. I'm not trying to chase like money. I have to also carve out the time to spend with my family. And if that means less money, maybe we eat ramen noodles that whole week. We're gonna have to do that because we spend time together, and that's more valuable.
Right. It's good to prioritize your family no matter what you're doing. So I just want to also go back, Bella. And I know that we had discussed this before we even started the interview. And that is, you know, in Jamaica, growing up in a household where maybe your parents or your siblings, and in your case, your parents and your sibling went into the medical field. Did you ever once felt like you were letting down family, your family members or friends or anyone, being the fact that you decided to choose to go into nails, which is something completely different than what they were doing?
Um, you know, I've I've always had you know, supportive parents.
Mhm.
Especially from my mom. Um, just my mom is a teacher
Mhm.
and my dad is a surgeon, a dental surgeon.
Mhm.
My sister is one of my sisters. There's three of us, so one of my sisters is an anesthesiologist consultant, and then the other one is a teacher.
Mhm.
So it wasn't. I mean, I've heard, family members say, for example, you probably shouldn't get any more tattoos because one day you might want a real job.
Mm.
Yeah. But I let that roll off my back
Mm.
because I had the confidence in myself. So the truth is I've always had that inner confidence of knowing that, I'm trying my best. I, there's issues outside of that where I do want to, do well by my family, the family that raised me and the family that I'm raising. So I'm always like pushing to, be better in my career.
Mhm.
But as it pertains to, my path, um, to be honest, I I had I had long ago
Mhm.
when before I even started doing nails, when I was still going to do it, right? I went to do my nails one day, Block Tower Plaza, my daddy had do my nails and
Mhm.
I was just watching the girl work and I don't know, like I was like, this is so cool. I want to do this.
Mhm.
Like, can I be a nail tech? And then this other voice was like, yeah, this one too. Like, the ambition.
Mhm.
Like, you want to be a nail tech,
Mhm.
you know? And then I was just like, true, true, yeah. Like, what else, you know?
Mhm.
And then, but then I was just, I was thinking about it and I was like, this has been my calling. And that's always been something inside. And, you know, going through like everything that I went to that led to this moment, it's just, what I said, purpose like chases you down. Like I believe like this is my purpose. Like I'm able to um, you know, not only do what I love and provide for my family, but also, you know, have conversations with other women and my space is one of like upliftment and we don't sit down and chat people. I mean sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
right, like, but not like it's not so it's like little things going on the Instagram and you see, but the environment that I like to create is one of like, as I said, upliftment. And I've had so many conversations with different women who have inspired me and who have told me I inspire them. So
Mhm.
I just feel grateful to be able to have that day to day, like that fulfillment.
And there's so many other persons, Annabelle, and I'll tell you that you have inspired. I mean, when I was younger, everyone who know me know I am all about nails. And so I remember always going to the beauty shop to buy the products. There was never a Jamaican nail polish brand to support. There was never anything that I can say, yes, this is from my country and this is ours. So I salute you for taking the leap and going ahead and not listening to the naysayers and just doing you unapologetically and starting a brand. So salute to you, Annabelle. You're an inspiration.
Oh.
So on that note, for other girls who have found themselves in the situation that you were in when you first got to university in your first year, you got pregnant. That's not necessarily easy news to digest. But the fact that that happened and you were able to still get up and support your child and support the rest of your children and make something of yourself. What advice would you give to anyone who is currently at a predicament in their life right now?
Definitely that you can push through. Don't ever lose lose your vision. We all have something inside us, it could, I've heard a lot of people say, I wish I had a talent, or, I wish I had, something I was good at, because I genuinely feel like they're not. But there's, for example, when I had the inkling of like, oh, I want to be a nail tech, but then that other voice, was just like, nail tech, it's the same thing, you could be good at like speaking to people, or making cookies, whatever it is that you're just naturally good at, and you feel like this is something that you could share with people, or if you have a vision, a business plan, anything at all, that is your purpose. And you just keep working on it. You have to research. There's everything is on Dr. Google, Professor Google University.
YouTube University.
Everything is there. You have to spend time on it. It takes months, years to develop. I've seen so many people start things, and because of the instant gratification that they want from it, they want the Instagram fame, they want the money, they start
overnight success.
Yes. So you'll start off with 2 followers, and then the next day they have 10, and the next day they have 20, and they're like, yes. And then the next day is 21, and it starts to like, and they're just like, okay, this is not working, because I'm supposed to be at 1,000 by Friday. So they stop, whatever it is, or it could just be reading the book, they're not getting the knowledge, whatever the case is, so I would say to just keep at it. Slow and steady is key. And I prayed over my business. That's number one for me. For the months that I had got fired from my job, and I was, I had the vision of, doing that thing that was just on the side and taking it seriously and making it my business, my career. I was a little lost, but I prayed every day, prayed over the business, God guide me, bless my plans. And then I just did research, worked on it until, it just started to grow and blossom. But it took me a while of really, learning everything I had to learn about it, and the business. The business side is a whole nother side, which is just as important, if not more important, to learn, because you're gonna need to manage your money. You need to know how much money you're making, how much money to put back into the business, how much money to put aside, for if there's dips in times and all of that. So all of that is included in like just the research and planning that you do, while you're launching.
Right. Thank you for that advice, Annabelle. Annabelle, based off of everything we've spoken about from the beginning, from Bella before the boutique, from Bella after the boutique, based on all of your experience so far, would you have changed anything?
No, I can't say I would,
Mhm.
honestly. I believe that everything happens for a reason. I have bad days sometimes where I'm just, I myself wish to be further along. Sometimes I have entitlement where I'm like, I should be further along. I worked so hard, you know.
Yeah.
Um, when I'm mixing polishes, is it tends to be midnight after the kids have gone to bed, after I'm finished doing a full day of nails,
Mhm.
the service side. And then I work till like maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the morning mixing polishes. And then, also have to um, create the labels and just everything, and it's a lot. So sometimes I get overwhelmed and frustrated and I'm like, this too much, and I'm like, I should be a million right now. And
You did
and
perfect. Yes.
so, I do get frustrated. And sometimes I'm just like, what am I doing? What's the point of all of this?
Mhm.
And then and and that just tends to happen when I'm just tired and overwhelmed. And I take a minute and I just take a breath,
Yeah.
or I just call a friend
Mhm.
or whatever it is. And then I'm really able to see how blessed I am.
Mhm. And I always say that it's important to not quit, but to know exactly when you need to take a break and to stop. And like you said, to just call someone and just breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to, self-care is the important. It's so important, whatever it is for you, I've just gotten into candles. So like if I'm watching like whatever it is I'm watching, even if it's just a 10-minute thing, like I light a candle and I'll feel like, yes, I had my time. I did something for myself, because you can't just be go, 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 go.
Mhm.
You can't, as they always say, like, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Nope.
And as a mother, you pour full.
Literally. So I have a fun question for you as we wrap up our discussion. If someone were to say, "Hey, Annabelle, I want to make a movie about your life and all that you've experienced," what would be the title?
Wow, it's kind of spot.
This question gets everybody, trust me.
Good girl. Yeah,
But
I
again,
like clean.
I like it. But again, the story of Annabel Glaze. I like it. So,
Yeah.
Annabelle, I just want to thank you so much today for sharing your story, for letting us in on what had to the background as to what had to go into putting together the nail polish and putting together Bella's boutique, and for letting us know a little bit more about Annabella, aka Bella. So where can my viewers and listeners find you?
So you can find me on Instagram and YouTube, Bella's Beauty, JA. That's BELLASBEAUTIQJA.
Thank you, Bella. So everyone, please go follow Bella on Instagram at Bella's Boutique and also on YouTube. Please support her nail polishes. Annabelle, correct me if I'm wrong, but are they available only in Fontana?
Yeah, right now they're in Fontana, Waterloo, Ochi, Mandeville, Mobile.
Basically all around the island. So if you're in Jamaica, please go and support by not one, not two, but at least three polishes from Bella's line. It's called Bella's Boutique. That's the name of the polish. And thank you to all my viewers and my listeners for tuning into this episode. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you're listening via podcast, please subscribe or leave a review. And I really do hope that you were able to take away something today based off of Bella sharing her story. I'll see you in the next episode and take care. Bye, everyone.